it's Miss Verb, and today I wanted to talk about a show that you guys might have heard of. It's called Hilda. Now, it's recently come out on Netflix, or at least Netflix in Canada, and Netflix Canada isn't like the US, so we sometimes have to wait for stuff, so if it's out in Canada, it's probably out in the US and maybe in other countries too. I don't know. But today, I wanted to talk about Hilda because, well, I went in with little knowledge about the show. I pretty much only knew what like the synopsis for that Netflix put on, and I heard that the animation was really, really good. So I went and I checked it out, and I was pleasantly surprised. The series takes place in this fictional world where they have like all these made up animals, and they also have like these fantastical creatures. They have like trolls, they have like these tiny elf-like people that have like these little pointy hats. They have these flying furball things, and it's really, I don't know, they have like all these different fantastical elements, and the main character, Hilda, she's this little girl that lives in like the forest among all these creatures with her mom, and she's constantly fascinated by the wildlife that she sees, and she's one of those bright, springy, hopeful, curious children that you see in like TV shows and stuff. And basically, she hates the idea of having to move to the city, so she's never really experienced city life, and she's not familiar with it. And so she doesn't want to go to the city, but then eventually, well, like, as the story progresses, she does. The first thing that surprised me about this show was the fact that the main character, Hilda, she's so courteous and polite. Like, a lot of the shows that you see these days, it's more normal to have a show where, like, the young kid is, like, one of those hip kids, they might get along with their parents, but, it's just, they're a kid. But this girl, she's so polite and courteous, and when she's presented with a problem, she takes it on in a very respectful and kind way. And the thing is, she isn't like a pushover where, like, you imagine like a Disney princess, like Cinderella or whatever, it's like, oh, she's just constantly kind. Like, if you look at it in a negative way, like, I mean, it's a good character, always being kind, but if you look at it in a negative way, it's like, they just always get pushed over, they're always kind, and they just kind of get tossed around. But Hilda, she's very determined, she has her values, very clear values, but she's still very courteous and polite about it all. She realizes when she is wrong about something, she's open to correction, which I find is rare that like a show will present it in such a good-natured way that isn't shoving it down your throat necessarily either. I don't want to like give away the story and everything, but for example, there's one scene where she's with her mom and they're walking in the city, and she complains that, all the streets, they look the same. Her mom is like, well, Hilda, you think that rocks, they're all different, but some people, they think that all rocks are the same. She's like, no way, rocks have personality and they're all different and stuff. So their mom is like, well, yeah, the houses, they're also different, She points out characteristics, like some houses, they have different colored, like, doors and whatnot. So then her mom guides Hilda, and then Hilda's like, oh, okay, now I see it, and she realizes and she accepts it, So it's refreshing to see a show where it treats the message with such intelligence, where it doesn't shove it down your throat, but it's such a good show for kids, too, as they grow up. Not to say that this is only a kid-centered show. It's just that if I had a kid, I would be okay with putting this in front of them. I've only seen the first 3 episodes, though, by the way. The art style and animation are also really nice, really pretty, and, like, for example, whenever they have night scenes, basically all the colors, they turn to, like, this blue kind of shade, so this like dark blue, and it plays around with all these different hues of blue, and it's just really, really nice. And the art style, the way everything is drawn, is also really nice. The characters are also really, like, everything in this show just looks adorable, and the characters are also really kind. And I also want to point out that, like, so far there hasn't been a bad guy in the show. Like, I've watched like 3 episodes and whatnot, and yeah, there are some more antagonistic characters, but they're still human to a certain point. Like nobody has come out and been like, ha ha ha, I am evil. It's all been like, people trying to like understanding each other and then pushing and pulling in these different directions. So it's really good and, wholesome. The show looks amazing. It has lots of love poured into it. And if you want like a calming show to watch after you come back home from work after like really, really intense day, this is a good show to just kind of sit down, chill, and enjoy yourself. And this, I think, is a pretty good show for kids too. So I would definitely say you should go and watch Hilda.
Such is the life of an adventurer.